Yeah, man. And this is not the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. We are live on air, coming to you from this beautiful city, plus 12 degrees Celsius, 1 minute past 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are celebrating a milestone out there, be it a birthday, an engagement, a wedding, congratulations, and a happy birthday to you if you're celebrating your birthday today. Today we have a very special show for you. As always, we are going to be looking at so many different things within the scope of our music industry. And with me today is my cousin, I will say cousin, Ron Molinga. He's in the house, folks. We are going to have a very entertaining, a very what's the right word to use? A very great and subtle conversation so that everybody out there will be able to follow us because there's something that is going on around the globe that everybody has been talking about, but we don't know the extent of how we are going to be able to, follow it. And it is AI. Yes, artificial intelligence. And, as an artist myself, I'm looking at it because, you know what, last week we were dabbling with AI with Tristan Challenger, that young man, and he gave us some insights. And from my research and from the researches of so many of you out there who have sent us messages that you are so interested in the topic that we brought about.
Got caught red-handed.
Don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Folks, yes. Yes, Petra is in the house. Yeah.
Hey, Love Big Family. You're on. Hey, TYB.
Hey, Petra, how are you doing?
I'm so happy, blessed. How you guys doing?
Hey, doing so good. Good, doing so great.
Great.
I was talking to, we're just starting to get warmed up. I was talking about the fact that, AI has come to stay and we have to embrace it. No matter what and how we take it, we know it's going to have an impact in the music and entertainment industry. But like we've said it before over and over and over again, that this is something that we have to discuss, not only to go out there to perform, to make music, to make, to go to the studio to do so many things. So we have to look at it within the context of how it's going to impact us. And we know it's going to impact it. It's right here. But then where do we go from here? So that's why today, folks out there, those of you who are watching us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, StreamYard, well, this is who we are right now. Those of you who don't know who we are, because you've been listening to us on live radio. With me is Ron Molinga. Ron is here. I always say cuz Ron and Petra, my partner in crime when the music industry is concerned. Yeah, folks. So we are here today to talk about this industry and AI. And I was reading something that I may want to share with you. And it's about Chris Brown. Chris Brown is talking about the music industry as they may relate to AI. I have followed Chris Brown for a long time. Now he's got his master's. And at the age of 29, Chris Brown owned, after his first track, after his first hit, he owned 14 franchises of Burger King. And now he's learned, he's grown. He shares his insights with respect to the music industry, AI, and everybody's talking about it. And you know what? I'm talking about it. I've been repeating myself. I know. From where I sit, I would like to officially welcome Ron, Niga, and Petra onto the program as always. Petra, the floor is yours to open the show, as always.
Thank you, TYB. And it's a pleasure. Hey, Love Bay family. Hello, Ron. And yeah, so just kind of just reiterate for me again, TYB, what was it in relation to Chris Brown and AI?
Yes, he thinks he has like myself, I'm sitting on the fence. I don't know too much about it. I'm reading about it and I'm using my mind to capture how it's going to affect us. I don't need to go and do some research because I see where it's going. So with Chris Brown, he feels that it's going to have an impact, just like all of us. So we are going to discuss how you feel it's going to impact us and at what level should we pay much attention to it, because it's going to seriously impact on jobs within the industry and so many different things. When you have to go to the studio, like all of us, what is going to happen? We don't know yet. It's
So
right
when
here.
Chris Brown mentioned, did he have is he more giving a generalized opinion, or is it more he's on the fence,
On the
or is it
fence.
more like he looks at it from a positive perspective or more of a negative perspective?
Uh, it's in between.
Okay,
Just like myself. I know we
just
don't
like
know.
myself
Or I
too.
don't know. I don't know the way forward right now as it is.
Hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah, for sure. No, I am the same way. Like I'm totally on the fence when it comes to AI. Where do I begin?
See? I tell
Yeah,
you.
there's so much, and I think everybody's opinion will differ. I think we'll have some similarities, but we'll have some differences. I'll just name some generalized points, and from what I've been seeing lately when it comes to AI. I mean, the revolutionization of AI, not even just in music, but in our everyday life, it's like it makes it so much easier. You know what I mean? It makes it so much easier, but then it's like you have to ask yourself, is easy always the best way? You know what I mean? You can log on to Chat GPT, for example, that's one of the AI platforms, and you can say, write me a song. In 10 seconds, less than 10, a few seconds, you will have a song, you know? But the question is, what kind of song are you going to have? You know what I mean? Whereby you look at like groups like Black Uhuru, it took them like 17 years to write and record their first album. And that album got nominated for a Grammy, like the first reggae band to be nominated for a Grammy. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's the journey that makes it. You know what I mean? And I feel like some of the greatest songs, you can't write them in a few seconds, man. Like I am yet to hear, and who knows, maybe it will change, but I don't know if I'm gonna hear any Grammy award winning songs from AI at this moment in time. You know what I mean? Because music for me is a human connection, and it's like over time we've used instruments to formulate that connection, but at one time it was only us humans. There was no instruments. Eventually we put drums in the equation and then that developed from into other instruments, but at one point it was just us. And I believe the true music, the true essence of music for humans is the heartbeat. That's where we got our first rhythm from. That's where you really feel music from. And AI doesn't have that. There's no humanity. There's no heartbeat. There's no that element's missing from AI. That's what defines them from us. So I feel in order to create amazing music that will allow you to connect to human beings, a human has to be involved. It can't just be straight technology. It makes it easier, but easy isn't always necessarily the right thing. That's like my first point. In relation to AI getting to the level now is recreating the sound of artists, that to me is a little bit scary because it's not even just being used in music. There's all different types of scams that happen now where all these people need to do is hear like a few seconds of your voice and they can recreate an entire narrative, and people have been using that to hold people's families at ransom. You know what I mean? So to me, it's very scary what AI can do. Now, in relation to music, everybody knows about the Drake song that was recreated with AI. I even heard, oh my gosh, a Michael Jackson remake of the song Munch by Ice Spice. So if you guys know Ice Spice, she's like a young rapper, you know what I mean? So they had Michael Jackson singing Munch in his voice. And to me, I mean, okay, but to me, it's like Michael Jackson is like one of the greats. Like to me, I don't know. For me, I think it's a little disrespectful for me because Michael, let Michael sing Michael's music. Don't use his voice to recreate a different type of narrative because now you're gonna have this generation that's coming up now, and that's how they're gonna know Michael Jackson from a remake of Munch by Ice Spice, not necessarily his greatest music. You know, Michael Jackson, he created amazing music. He has a legacy, but I feel like with the influence of AI now, it's now tarnishing the legacy that certain artists took decades to establish. So, like, that's only the beginning. So I'm not gonna go too deep at this moment because I want Ram to share his viewpoint as well. I could talk for the next hour. You know what I mean? I don't want to use all TRB.
We have time. We have time.
But those are the
just flow, keep on flowing.
I could keep going, but those are the two main things that I'm having an issue with when it comes to AI. So feel free to jump in with your opinion, Ron. TRB.
Well, Petra, everything you said makes total sense. I mean, I agree. There's going to be some goods and there's going to be some bads. I think the thing we're going to have to do is do a little bit of getting used to what is happening. And I don't think it's all bad. And I don't think you're saying that either, Petra. But what I get worried about is, like you said, things like what happened to Michael Jackson there and stuff like that. To me, there's something about music that is from, as you say, from the heart. I mean, to me, what I get worried about is people going into a studio recording and saying to my AI, I'm going to send it to the AI and just say, master this whole song and get the song all ready for me. No, there's something about humans. Humans have something inside them, inside their ears that are saying, look, this is too much, that's too much. Exactly. When they go into a studio and they want to mix something, it has to have a human. If you start sticking an AI on there, I just don't think you're going to get that human feel. And I personally, to me, feel is everything in a song. It's what makes a song go and what makes a song feel like it does. And I see, like, for instance, a simple way to compare this is like saying this. Would you rather see on stage a real live drummer with a human feel hitting in there? People could see me, they can see I'm swinging my arms like a drummer. Or would you rather see or hear just a machine out of a computer playing? And if you compare the two, it is a world of difference. Humans do something that is just natural to them, and that is they speed up and they slow down. They don't hit everything as hard. Like, I'm comparing a drummer here. A drummer doesn't hit the snare exactly the same. He doesn't hit the kick exactly the same. It's impossible to do. Yeah. And if you start sticking AIs in here to do this, it doesn't become human anymore. And that bugs me. That part of it would bug me immensely. I would say this, too perfect. Yeah. Much too perfect. And I don't like absolutely perfect because humans, as we all know, are not absolutely perfect. Exactly. I hear this even today before the big AI thing sort of came out. I was hearing this all the time in songs. I'm kind of going, oh, that just doesn't have a feel to it. And with AI coming in, we're going to see that probably happening more and more, where people are just putting it into a machine. And a machine to me is not a human. I can't stress this enough. I've seen it time and time again. And I just go, this is too bad. It just doesn't have it for me. And I mean, it's the other thing too, is like when it comes to human voices, such as yourself, Petra, and TYB, that is the heart and soul to me of a song. Yeah. And you just cannot recreate a human voice like a human voice sounds. It has emotion, it has feel. And it's not going to be perfect every single time. Thank goodness, because that's what we are. We are not perfect. You start sticking AIs in here on everything, and I really, really question how much AI is going to be able to really stick up to what needs to be done. I mean, you listen to any of the award winners, Grammy award winners, and I've already thought about it. I know who's going to win a Grammy for sure. Petra, you probably know because I was playing the song yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know what? The song is there's no way that is AI. The song I'm talking about is, of course, Flowers by Miley Cyrus. And that's going to win a Grammy, I'm sure, unless something huge comes along. And she's probably going to win a Grammy or two for sure this year. But that's not AI in there. I can hear it in the drummer. I can hear it in the bass player and all the parts of the instrumentation. That's human, and humans make human music. And AIs cannot do it. They just cannot do it yet. Thank goodness, because wouldn't it be boring to step or go to a concert and just say, this is all AI through, and there's no humans there? I mean, I can't imagine. I brought this up, something similar to this last week, and that was Earth, Wind, and Fire. Getting on stage and hearing Earth, Wind, and Fire, but really it's AI. So we really don't need humans on stage. It's just, some kind of graphics on the screen showing them guys playing. That isn't AI, man. That isn't AI. You listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, man, we're talking soul. That's soul. And that is the part of music that makes music go. I could go on, as you can tell about this one. Because it is. There's something that AI I don't think will ever be able to do. Thank goodness.
Exactly.
Because humans are humans. Yeah. You want more out of me? I could keep talking about this.
I had a point, if you don't mind. I just wanted to say one thing. Just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, Ron, and I can speak for reggae, right? Because I'm a reggae artist. Reggae is known for having sounds, sound systems, and each sound system has its own sound. You know what I mean? That's what defines them. So people gravitate, I like this sound because of the way it sounds, the way they put things together, the way they strung the sound system. That's what they love. You know what I mean? So it's like when you have AI now, everything's going to sound the same. How do you define anything? You know what I mean? And to me, one thing that bothers me too is kind of like we're humans, and it's crazy that we even having this conversation now. It's like I remember watching these ideas in movies, man versus machine, but that's literally where we are right now in our industry. You know what I mean? And it's just like when I look at AI, it's like the whole purpose of AI, from what I can see, is just to recreate the human experience. And to me, that's a shame. Like you were created to copy, you weren't we weren't created to be unique. Like we as human beings were created to be unique, And I love the fact that you said, yeah, we're not perfect. And that's the beautiful thing about us, is that we're not perfect. You know what I mean? That we make mistakes, but from those mistakes, we can learn amazing lessons. We gain wisdom, knowledge, and we use that and pass it down to different generations, pass it through music, through the arts, through architecture, through so many different things. There's a beauty and an essence in being a human that is expressed through music that cannot be recreated, and it's a shame. You know what I mean? I feel like AI is okay to a point. I was researching about AI. I mean when it comes to like you mentioned, production wise, and I'm saying, there's certain things like AI can definitely aid in. Like I use AI in my everyday business, in relation to, so I can't be a hypocrite. I do use AI, I use ChatGPT when I'm doing certain admin tasks. However, I don't mind using it for administrative tasks, because for me that's admin. But at the same time, when I'm writing certain documents or creating certain documents in the past, I would write those documents. And there's creativity in also writing those documents. It's only due to my scheduling and timing that I prefer to use that. It's not based on a choice. Like if I have to choose between, if I had the time to do it, I would rather do it myself, because I know time is a factor. That's why I use that tool. But when it comes to music, I feel like there shouldn't be a time frame on music. You know what I mean? But again, we're speaking from an independent artist perspective. If we're not signed to a major label and we have 3 months to get this album out, and that's our deadline, and that's what the label said, and we're contracted, then I could understand why they would then maybe use AI to aid them, but not to make it 100%. Don't make AI write your whole album, because yeah, AI could write you an album literally in like a few minutes. But what kind of album would it be?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my point.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You see, we take 3 steps forward and we take 2 steps back because we don't know. Like I'm saying, we don't know how it's going to be. But my worry right now is about jobs within the industry, songwriters,
Mhm.
production assistants.
Yeah.
So many. It's going to have an impact because if I can, just like you're saying, if I can say, okay, I'm going to write a track um, on love. AI just give me three verses and chorus or whatever. It's there, but then a human being has lost their job right there because if, like myself, these days when I go to Walmart or say Shoppers or any of these places where you have to self checkout or those kind of stuff, I don't do it. I do not do it. I always ask for a live person because if we encourage that, then the industry will say, oh, okay, yeah, they accept it. So let's go with it. Now you've lost one person out there. So to me personally, is the jobs that we are going to be losing. As a matter of fact, we just recently saw that there was this strike in Hollywood, in California, right there. And they got some they got what they wanted. They got what they wanted. But at the end of the day, when you come to check it out, it's going to have an impact. Yeah. The industry knew that we ask whatever you want, we can get it for you. But what comes next with respect to AI getting involved is what I think we have to be looking at. Because it's not going to be honky dory. No, at all. People are going to lose it. So where do we go from here? Yes.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. I thank myself for one thing, and that is that I'm actually a musician as well. I don't find personally that I'm never going to have to worry about an AI coming on stage and playing my bass for me as a bass player. That's what I normally sit on stage or stand on stage for people. I don't worry about that part of it because I know that a human can only do that. And I wish and I hope that we continue to encourage people to play musical instruments, because playing those instruments is what will separate us from doing that. Therefore, they are not going to lose those jobs. I was at a festival, playing at a festival this summer, and every single group that came on had human beings. And thank goodness, because it sure would have been boring. In fact, one of the people told me later that one of the worst acts of it was some DJ, and that's nothing against DJs at all whatsoever, but it just didn't have the humanistic feel of watching. There was one with a 12-person band on stage.
Wow.
They were just dynamite, horns and sax player that was just dynamite. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, it just gives me chills, because they were so good. And we are not going to lose, hopefully, that person ever on stage. And I agree with what you're saying, TYB. I don't go to the automatic checkouts either. I always go to a human being, because to me, that's a job that stays in the town that I live in. And we support that. However, and that I don't worry about. Petra, you can be thankful you have the voice that you do, because there is no Petra that is going to shine up on stage with the graphics that's going to me, would not entertain people. You are going to walk around on stage, you're going to talk to people. That is what a human can do. And if we're going to talk about the entertainment industry, this is what I do not worry about. I do get a little bit worried about musicians that walk on stage and don't have a band. And that kind of bugs me. I will say that. I do love seeing groups where there's actually a group behind them. And I don't want to mention names. We all know who does this and who doesn't. But I tell you, there's nothing like humans doing the job. Because once again, I'll mention, they're not perfect. They can't be. And they are going to make small little mistakes, but that's okay. AI will never do that in the way we're looking at it. And you're right. You can get a song idea, and Petra, you using Chat GPT, that to me, I can understand. And people might get where I think it's going to help is AI, like ChatGPT, is going to be used to help a person get started. But I don't think you're going to be able to take the whole song and say, oh, just hey, that came off the computer, it's printed off. I've looked to my side where my printer is here. I'll take it off and I'll go, there's the song. I don't think that's any time in the foreseeable future that we're going to be able to do that. And thank goodness.
Exactly.
Petra.
So
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree with you. You know what I mean? I do feel I do feel we're a long way from that. And so the question is like, what do we do right now? You know what I mean? Like, how do we manage this situation at the moment? Do you guys still see me? Also, you guys are a bit frozen. Yeah. The question is, what do we do right now? Where do we go from here? You know what I mean? And we have to find a way to limit its impact. You know what I mean? And also find different safety nets that can protect us as artists. You know, I don't know how much you guys know about the NFTs. Do you know much about NFTs? Yeah. So I mean, I'm not like fully versed in NFT, but I do have some understanding of NFTs, and I feel like the incorporation of NFTs into the music industry is probably going to be the only way that an artist can protect themselves. But again, it's like on the fence, you know. So NFTs is kind of like you create as a creative, you can turn your work into a digital asset. You know what I mean? So artists have been doing this with like print based, you know, they create a collection and then they like put that NFT, they make that NFT go live, and then people can buy the NFTs. So that person may have 100 NFTs, you know, and they'll allow people to bid on it. And then once they purchase the NFT, once the NFT's been purchased, it's purchased. So a perfect example is Tory Lanez. You know what I mean? Tory Lanez, he had 100 NFTs, and he sold one NFT for $1. Okay, some people bought one NFT, some people bought 60 NFTs. Now each one of those NFTs is worth $50,000.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of major artists now have been doing that with their work. And the reason why I say this is the benefit to the industry is the fact that once you create the NFT, you're now the official owner, you know? You're the official owner. So even if somebody recreates that, they have to pay you. And then once you get paid, whoever's also invested. So if I bought one of Tory Lanez's NFTs and people start like playing the music and what have you, I also, as an investor, as a fan, I make money off the NFT. That's why people that purchased NFT went from $1 to 50,000, you know? But the fact that he has ownership, it means like a label can't now come and take ownership. You know, you see how someone could come and just take your masters. They can just take the masters if they have the file. With an NFT, it's kind of code. So once the code has been set, it's been set. Nobody can go back and change it. So I think if major artists can do that and have full ownership of their work in that regard, due to the legal structure and the way it's coded, I believe that would be a way that artists can retain control and ownership. However, my only concern now is like the artists that I know that have been doing it, and again, I haven't done so much research. So anyone listening, if they have any, points or anything to add, feel free. But I know that when it comes to sorry, I don't lose my train of thought now. It's going to come back to me. when it comes to the NFTs, boy, I need to come back now. Like my mind is blank.
Patrick, can you share the difference between NFTs and copyrights?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Oh yeah, sure. So I again, as I said, I'm not too fully versed in it, but copyright is when this is just from my experience, what I know. Copyright is when it's like you have to submit the legal documentation to like the copyright office of whichever country you're in, you know. But NFTs, it's not legally binding in that regard. It's more to do with digital code. So it's whoever uploads the NFT and submits the NFT retains ownership in that regard. So again, I don't know too much, but that's as much as I know in that regard. I know that whoever owns that, and I remember my point now. Thank you, Ron. Whoever owns that retains control. Now, my question is now, as a major artist, I know only a few artists like Tory Lanez who are like independent that have done this. But my question is, what about the major artists who are signed to the major labels? You know, because if the major labels now do it on behalf of the artist, the major labels will forever own the NFT of those artists, and those artists will never have ownership of their own music. So that's why I feel like even with the influence of AI and NFTs, it's allowing artists to be fully independent. You know what I mean? And I'm talking, and this is another thing too. And I know you do have your qualms, Ron, about like live musicians and the fact that AI can never replace a live musician. And I totally agree with you. However, what AI has allowed an independent artist like me, because obviously, like when I first started in the industry, I wasn't in a position where I could always have access to a band. So I had to be one of those artists that had to sing with backing music. Not that I wanted to, but it's like that was what I had to work with. But the fact that I could still impact a crowd with a backing track, when I have a band, it's over. You know what I mean? Because if I can rock you with a track, I can destroy you with a band. You know what I mean? So that's why I like in that regard. But what is going to allow an independent artist, say like me now, I could use AI to its full advantage to help me as an independent artist, because now AI can I could say to AI, oh, make me a hip hop beat. And then it could just make me a hip hop beat. You know what I mean? And then, oh, I can record on that. And then it's like, oh, master it for me. Then it could master the song for me, you know? And then I send it off to one of these distribution platforms. The song's out there. And then it's like, I use the AI strategies now to market it. Boom, it's marketed. Now it's out there. So I understand how it could benefit some people in the industry. But again, like TYB mentioned, at what cost to others? You know what I mean? Irregardless, there's going to be some winners and there's going to be some losers. You just have to position yourself to be on the winning side in whatever way that is. You know?
Can I jump in here?
Sure.
See, if you look at the fact that a lot of people who went to music schools and all those kind of stuff, they spend so much time, energy, money, and all those kind of stuff to go through this. So if within this, within the split of a second, they are no longer, they depend on that. They are no longer able to, use their craft that has been supporting them, then I have a problem with it. Because right now, I personally don't like playbacks. I've never done that, and I won't do it. I won't do it because I want to. Just like when I said, if I go to Walmart and I see a checkout point with somebody with a machine there, I don't go there. Even they themselves are now realizing the fact that it doesn't work, because I can put 3 potatoes and say 1. So they are losing in there, right? So they are backing off. So it's not all hunky-dory. But what you see, I'm talking in terms of jobs, people losing jobs. What about the drummer there? What about the guitarist? What about that person? Does it mean that in the near future, if AI, we are the beginning stage, we are just starting. So does it mean that in the near future, you don't have to do anything, like people who go on tours and stuff like that? if AI is going to be there, or if the artist doesn't opt to get musicians to back him up, what happens? That's my problem. I'm on the side of people losing jobs and talent being suppressed,
Mm.
and people just say, "Ah, okay, I'm not going to school anymore." So because if I'm going to do that, AI is going to take symphony orchestras. Are we going to see these highly paid people doing their craft? So I'm on the side of the jobs within the industry,
Mm.
because what they are trying to tell us that there are benefits. Of course, there might be
Mm-hmm.
benefits within that sphere, but does the benefit outweigh what people should expect? I was looking at something. Let me share this with you. They said that benefits of AI in the entertainment industry. One, it's going to increase efficiency and automation. Whatever that means, I don't know. And secondly, it says it's going to improve storytelling and content creation. I'll have something against that too.
Yeah, I
And
kind of
then
do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
From creative, because
that's,
AI doesn't create. That's the thing. It takes
that's
from
right.
human
You're not
beings.
creating it,
And
so
so create what? Like you mean
yeah.
steal?
Mm.
And the last one, the last one, it says enhanced audience engagement and personalized experiences. And also, I don't buy this.
Yeah, I
Mm. Yeah,
I don't buy
exactly.
that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So did I pay, say, $50 or $100 to go and see one person, as opposed to a whole lot of people who are doing what I can see? Oh man, the guitarist was good. Oh man, Petra was awesome. Oh geez, Ron's bass guitar playing was,
You know
gee.
exactly.
It's the totality of everything that makes it go out there to enjoy. Not only that one person, because at the end of the day, I can go to a concert and watch that person for say 1 hour. Well, back in the day, people would just come in and play maybe three, four, five songs and they are off the stage, right? But in today's world, in parks and in auditoriums, people are enjoying themselves. But the whole thing is, my whole thing is great, but content creation, audience engagement, I'll beg to differ. That's where I'm. That's
Yeah.
why I'm in between there. That's where I don't know where it is. There's a lot of conversations to be had on this, Ron.
Yeah. I hope that the day doesn't come because, as I keep saying, I don't think you'll
It's coming.
replace. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
where we're going to completely replace humans. Yes, automation to some extent is really nice. I mean, anybody who's been in a recording studio knows what automation is,
Yeah.
and it helps to do certain functions to make it a lot easier than to try to do it yourself. So automation in the studio is a nice feature. It's nice to do. I mean, it's great for doing what we call crescendos and decrescendos, building them up and bringing them down. That's automation, and that's just something that a human would find really hard to do. So in some ways, that's been going on for a while. However, I don't think what you're going to do is take the human out of the human. Because I'm glad I did my years of university for music, many of them, at least four, and two more for education. But I tell you, I'm glad that I have, because so many times I go in and I'm recording and I can't look at a recording when I'm sitting there and not know what the chords were, what was all going into this piece that made it go from here to there, and why it worked. And that to me is going to be something that AI is going to have to learn. And I hope that it doesn't pick it up as well. Well, it won't be able to pick it up as well, because there's just certain things that you can throw in that an AI will give you. Here's my one shot at it. And will I, as a person, be out of a job because of it? No, I don't think so. Because, I mean, as a song I was recently looking at, I was going, oh, those 6 chords this person put in there. What a great way of putting them in. And I don't think if you said, write me the next Grammy song, I don't think an AI is going to have wrote it as well as I think who's going to win the Grammy this well. this year for it. And because I looked at the chord changes, I thought, okay, very nice. A minor, D minor. You go in G, C, and F, and that E7. How nice of you to do that, because that just makes me go, oh, please have some resolution to A. And that's something humans feel in their ears. A 7 chord isn't, anybody who knows music at all knows that it's one of those ones that goes, makes you go, oh, please go somewhere else. And, oh, thank you, back to the tonic, as it's called. Not the drink, but to the chord that says, hey, I'm the one that started the whole song out. They don't always end that way, but it's just humans have that in them. And I'm hoping that we don't get to the stage where they're going to be able to almost read our minds to an extent, saying, I feel like this song should go here, here, here. Just make me this song. I hope we don't get to that stage in my lifetime. And I hope not in any of yours either, because I think there's some great things, like you said, Petra, for writing documents and the things like that. But what happens if you were to look on and say, write a song by Petra and write it the way I would write it? Is without previous information that it would gather all up in less than 10 seconds off the internet, every place it could find, is it going to be able to write a song like Petra would be able to write?
Exactly.
And I don't think we're there yet. And hopefully we don't get to a stage where TYB is going to have his next #1 hit on the radio by somebody who said, write me TYB's version of a great R&B tune. And I hope we're anywhere near that stage. That's how I sort of look at it.
Folks, we are discussing AI in the music industry this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever you may be on this program, Highway 6 to Africa. We are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, plus 12 degrees Celsius. Time right now, 43 minutes past 4 p.m. How time flies. Yes.
No, the conversation's good.
That's right. There is one thing that I to add to what Ron just said. You see, you cannot replace the human aspect of anything. You cannot. Automation is good. It's okay. It cuts down time in the studio, right? Things that you can just, okay, let me do all this kind of stuff, and I can't do this and that. Boom. We see some snippets of it in the studio even right now. But the whole thing is that we don't know the extent as to how it's going to make us, to use this word, impotent. We don't know. But what you don't know can kill you. Because how I'm looking at it is that it's good to some extent, but for me personally, I think there's got to be some regulatory bodies there to say, you can do this, you can do that, because of, we are aware of Drake's stuff going on right now, right? So right now there are no regulations out there, and who's going to write it? Is it going to be? We don't know. That, you see, that is what my whole thing is all about. That people are going to lose jobs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's there. Like somebody was saying, I was listening to a program, and then the person was saying, well, it's the same thing. Back in the day, when people were using horses and buggies, and they said, well, there's a new innovation coming on, and it's a car. People say, oh, no. It's going to take us all. Today, the car has come. The buggies are still there, but we don't look at it. To us, it's old. We can use the car to do so many things. But when it comes to a human being singing, you cannot replicate it, right? And even if you do, I'll go back to what Ron said, even from the feeling is not there. I can scream, I can sing with passion. Unless AI, the singing AI, is able to say that, okay, yeah, sure. AI, I'm instructing you, just be passionate getting to the end of the verse, which we don't know. But you cannot replicate what a human being can do. Because with the talking drums, tried everything to get a talking drum, the real talking drums, to sample it, to use it. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
The machine can ask you, you can ask the machine to, you cannot do it because what a human being can do to some extent, a machine cannot run.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and how can I disagree with you? Because then I'd be disagreeing with myself. It's true that there's just the human function, and you're right. It's a good analogy you use about the car. How the car came in, and people were probably apprehensive, HE double hockey sticks, about it coming in, and it was going to take over the horse and buggy. But sure, it's come in and it's been in our society for almost 100 years now. We're getting used to it. Of course, we don't want to get too much into the climate stuff that it has caused, but let's leave that for another day. But it's just that, yes, people were apprehensive about something new, something different coming in. It's like anything that's new and anything that is brought in. I mean, AI is coming in the last 2-3 years or so, somewhere in that area. And so, yes, we are apprehensive and we are going, oh my goodness, please don't do this. I mean, I don't want it to take away all these jobs. And yes, it probably, undoubtedly, TYB is going to take some jobs away. However, I don't think yet that I see, because look at the car industry created a myriad of jobs that we look at the bonuses of what it did.
That's true.
So I think I try and personally look at things in the positive way rather than trying to think, what are all the bads going to be? Yes, it may get rid of some jobs. That's true. But I don't think it's going to ever take away the human part of it. And it's like having a Picasso and asking AI, draw me or paint me a picture like Picasso would. Okay, sure. Yeah, maybe it looks something like Picasso would do, but did Picasso do it? No. Exactly. And would he have done it exactly that way? Who knows? You will never know because he's dead, first of all. But I don't think you're going to ever find AIs taking the human aspect out of it. They're driving cars now. We never thought that would happen. We're starting to get there. I mean, it's sure taking a long time. But is that taking anybody's jobs away? I don't think so. Maybe cab drivers it will to some extent. Who knows? But hopefully, I see it to be a slow process. Know that the camera, my video didn't go down there. I said that in a purposeful way. I think it will be slow. And it will have its goods and its bads, like everything. And I think you have to look at it in that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from what you said about the car industry employing millions or hundreds of thousands of people. We don't know right now, but yeah. So that's why I'm saying that we don't know. We don't know, because with a car, there's so many different parts that everybody is just putting the light here, that it can create a job. But with our industry, it's limited though. The industry is limited. So if Petra is going on a tour, she has a 5-piece band. It's 5-piece band. There's nothing. They have to have the road manager and all these kind of stuff. But if you come to look at it, it doesn't measure up to the music industry, though. I mean, sorry, the auto industry. You see, some jobs will be lost, but then my whole thing is, one job loss is quite a lot for me. Petra.
Yeah, I definitely want to piggyback off what you both said. You both made some really great points. I think if a job is lost, the question is how many jobs were created from that one job loss. You know what I mean? If one person loses their job, but then 5 are created, then that's okay. And I feel like that's what's going to have to happen now, because like you said, I respect what you're saying to TYB when it comes to the grocery store. I love that. I respect that. Okay.
Yeah.
Me, I wish I could be the same. I'm so bad at using the self checkout. Because sometimes the line is so long, and like sometimes I got to go. You know what I mean? So I'll be using the checkout. However, I do respect what you're saying. I'm gonna try, if I'm not in a hurry, to use a person. But again, certain things like that, I think they're going to probably keep it half and half because it benefits some people, whereby actually having a person at the checkout benefits others. You know what I mean? My thing is like, that's what we need to be reassured of. And I think what is really bothering a lot of people is like what you also mentioned again, Ron, is uncertainty. When people are uncertain, uncertainty breeds fear, you know? And with fear breeds doubt, also breeds anger, it breeds a whole bunch of negative emotions. So I feel like with this whole emergence of AI, if they can reassure society, reassure people, reassure certain industries, you know, that yeah, there will be some jobs lost. However, AI is going to create a job in this area, a job in this area, a job in that area. So don't worry. Then the ushering in of this whole AI revolution will probably be taken a lot better. But the fact that they're not doing that and they haven't done that, that's why there's all this uncertainty. But again, I have my other views on society. So I feel like that's what they want. They want us to be fearful. They want us to be nervous. But we, especially those of us who've been in the industry a lot longer, and those of us that know better, it's like we have to accept that this change is happening and has happened, but know that it's going to work out to our advantage as long as we look at the glasses being half full and not half empty. Let's start looking at the opportunities that AI has created. Like for me, and I'm talking outside of music, the fact that I can use AI in my business, in my agency, is amazing. That allows me to service more clients, help more people. It's also allowed me to save certain money on costs. And that's another thing too that I wanted to mention earlier on. The reason why this whole AI emergence has an effect on people like us is because we're creatives. You know what I mean? So we look at things from a creative and humanistic approach. The people who AI benefits are more industrial, more of the corporates, like the industry benefits the industry. So as I'm saying, like I can speak of how AI has helped me, benefit me from a business perspective. It's helped me in business, saved me costs on having to hire somebody right now, especially that I'm in the startup stage. It helps me, as I said, write reports, create things that I need to do on a daily basis for my industry, for my business. However, the question comes into play is that once I'm in a position financially where I can afford to hire somebody, the question is, am I going to use that money to hire somebody and create a job opportunity? Or am I going to say, forget it and keep using AI? You know, I already made the decision that I do want to hire somebody because I had an intern with one of my businesses, and it's like, there's a joy in connecting with people and teaching them and connecting with them and sharing with them. There's a beauty in that, the humanity, you know? So I feel like when you're in a position of influence and power and you're in a position where you can do better, do better, you know, be better. So I feel like, getting back to my point, we have to be able to use AI as a tool to help humanity in a positive way. As long as AI isn't taking from us, then I feel it's okay to welcome it part and part, but we have to still give it boundaries. Even I've heard Elon Musk make comments and say that even he's nervous
Yeah.
how AI has been moving. You guys know, even and he's king of AI. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He sees that it can get out of hand. So as long as we curb it, we put rules and boundaries in place, I think with the right knowledge, we can use AI for the betterment of humanity as a partner, you know, not to take over. Yeah.
See, and this is where I'll say it's artificial intelligence, but who programmed it? It's a human.
Yeah.
Exactly. A human being that's going to program it. And who are these people?
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the question. Is it going to see? There's a lot to it that meets the eye. Have those people been vetted? Their mindset? Because I've been looking at some ads or some commercials or some documentaries and stuff like that on TV, and where there's a RoboCop says, "Stay there and let me look. Do you have your ID?" or something to that effect. So at that particular moment, if it's been programmed, if the programmer programmed it in such a way that if the guy reaches out into the pocket, shoot him or do something to that person, you know. So these are
Yeah.
some of the things. So for me personally, I think anybody getting in touch with this that is going to affect an entire human race has got to be vetted. There's got to be something.
That's
Something has got to be put in place because we just can't say, okay, it's a mass thing. So go out and do it, and do it to the best of your ability. When it comes to um, um, car designs and stuff like that, that we should also look at that. Did they also have to go through this? No, but this particular one, is going to affect every sphere of our society. That will affect humanity. So, are we? My question is, like, we can look at it. Are we prepared for it? And at what extent do we say that, you know what, the thing has come into place, they've implemented it, and when something goes wrong, are we able to reverse it and say, okay, you know what, this is exactly what we didn't want? Like Petra, you said that is even scarier. The person who is even behind it is scared. So me as a lay person sitting out here in Toronto should be scared because he is saying that, my God, we don't know how it's going to, end up. So it's scary. I mean, the word is scary, but we don't have to be scared. That's why I'm saying, I'm sitting on the fence. I'm neither for it or against it. But when it comes to my music, performing on stage, I want my band.
And Petra, don't get me wrong about playing with a DJ, because I'll tell you, the weekend when he goes on stage, I don't think he has a live band with him. So, I'm just comparing that. And I don't have anything against all that. I just think that, like you are saying, TYB, I love a live band. To all this extent, at one time, about, I'll say 20, 25 years ago, people started using, we'll get into music here, about using home recording studios instead of the huge studios that would cost you, $500,000 or, $100,000 to record an album, whatever it is. I saw a really good interview with a fella named Bob Rock, who's a world-class producer. And he said, he was asked, Bob, what do you think about these people that are recording their albums from their living room? And he said one thing. He said, I don't care if you need your living room or you need a huge studio like this one. What I care about most is the end result, which is it good music?
Yeah.
Is it good music? And that is all that matters to me. So all this stuff we're saying about AI is that, are we going to get out? Are we going to get better music? And if we do, hallelujah. If we don't, then I get worried. But I like to, I think Petra's saying, I like to think on the positive side and think things are only going to get better. Yeah. And I hope, and I cross my fingers, not really, I just hope that it will help us to improve things rather than to deter it or make it worse. Yeah.
Petra, take it up.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. I don't know what else to say. I think Ron just said like an amazing piece, and I always like to be that type of person. I always like to see the glasses always being half full as opposed to half empty, because irregardless, like TYB said in the very beginning, it's here to stay. It's not going away. No. You know what I mean? AI is not going away. This is our present, not even our future. This is our present. So how are you going to handle it in the present moment? Is it going to be to our benefit or to our detriment? And I like to believe everything is to our benefit. As I said, I'm actually using AI on a daily, consistent basis, and it's made things so much better. You know what I mean? So I feel it's going to be the same in music, as long as there are rules and boundaries put in place.
Yeah. Very great conversation. It's very great conversation, and we have to continue with it. Bring in some experts also to talk about it, because I love this, because it's going to make or break the music industry. I mean, I'm talking in terms of the music industry, but I'm very optimistic that everything will be okay. Sometimes I try to play the angel's advocate, not the devil's advocate, the angel's advocate, and then look at it from different points of view. And well, what can I say? Great minds, great conversation, and this is where the rubber meets the road. And folks, next week, yes, this week we were supposed to have, as I announced, Kati Matete, the diva from Kenya, the African diva, the reggae superstar. She was supposed to be with us this week. I announced it prematurely, but hey, we've concretized everything. And Kati will be with us next Saturday. And the following Saturday is going to be Tommy. Tommy is going to be with us. We're also going to have a Rocky Dawuni. We are moving up and continue. We have so many artists lined up to grace this station and this program from now going into the Christmas season. It's just around the corner. So you know what? It's been a pleasure having Ron, as usual, chiming in with us. Great conversation, great insights, great everything. Petra, well, this is where we take our program to the end of the day. Until next week, Saturday, folks, where we have Kati Metete, the reggae superstar from Kenya. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember, the world is a nice place to live in. Enjoy.
Bye, Love Bay family.
Hey, it's been an absolute pleasure, like always. You two are fabulous.
You too, Ron.
You too, Ron.
Great show.
Great show.
Great show.
Bye-bye.
Okay.